Hey, so let's think for a moment about what we really have control over in our lives. Because we typically don't have control over the events that happen to us, right? Like, we can't control if we're driving on the road and we get a flat tire. We really can't control that. We can't control whether a customer comes into our place of business or wherever we work, and we can't control if they're in a bad mood today or if they are upset, right? We really can't control over those things. If we work a job, we really don't have control over our income because our company ultimately is the ones who decides what we are paid. We really don't have control over challenges like illnesses that come up. We don't really have control over the aging process, like getting older. We don't have control over new businesses and new products and new services coming into the marketplace, like Uber completely slashing the tax service, right? When they started, that's major disruption. We really don't have control over those things. There are many unseen things that we don't have control over, right? What do we really have control over in our lives? And this is very, very important to think about, because I want you to take those things and I want you to claim them as your own and understand that these are yours. So what do we really have control over in our lives? I really want you to think about this, and I think about this a lot. So I'm going to give you a lot of different topics, right? But I'm going to give you mostly two things, and stick around to the end of the video so you can get the last one, okay? Because this is very, very important, and when you take control over these things, you will notice major shifts and major changes in your life, okay? So the first one is choices. We have control over the choices that we make in life. Life is basically all about choices, right? From the day that we are born until the end. The things that happen to us and where we end up is all based on our choices. Who do you spend your time with? Who do you surround yourself with? Who are your friends and who are your family? What is the company that you keep? Right? Do these people lift you up? Do they support you? Do they support you in your goals? Okay? We do have control over the friends that we make, right? And who we surround ourselves with. Do they support you or do they put you down? What is your relationship like with yourself? Do you spend a lot of time thinking about your goals and thinking about where you're heading, right? Do you have a spiritual side of your life? Okay? What is your self-care look like? Okay? Your relationship like with yourself. Because let's keep in mind, this is a choice. You can choose to spend time with yourself every day. I always say the greatest investment is in yourself. How do you spend your money? Good, because we don't have control if we have a job. We don't really have control over what we're paid, right? But how do you spend your money? Are you spending your money on things that don't give you an immediate positive ROI? Like, I'm 25 years old, one of the biggest things is alcohol. Do you spend your weekends just getting drunk and spending time wasting time? Or do you invest yourself, right? Do you invest in coaching? Do you invest in going to the gym? Do you invest in mentors, right? These are things that you should be thinking about. As far as eating goes, is it junk food or is it nourishing or is it healthy? Kind of black and white, but is it doing good for you or is it not? How about the information that you consume? Okay, we do have a choice whether we want to turn on the news every day, whether we want to scroll social media. How long are we scrolling on social media? One of my biggest things, I want to post on social media. I don't like to spend time scrolling on social media, okay? Because it's all about information, right? Are you putting out valuable content or are you just consuming, or is it negative propaganda? Is it empowering you or is it putting you down, right? Is the information you consume people saying, oh, you can't do that? You can't go after those goals, right? Because, hey, I did that and it didn't work out. And lastly, this is the most important one. How do you choose to spend your time? How do you choose to spend your time? You should think about these things, okay? Are you working towards your goals today? What is one thing that you can do today with your time to move you closer to achieving your goal of X? Whatever that goal is for you, right? How do you spend your time? Time is the most valuable resource that we have in our lives. I invite you to think about this, right? Because we have control over it. How are you spending your time? You should think about this, okay? I think you understand the point, and the point is to take control of these things, right? Your friends, who you surround yourself with. How do you spend your time? Are you investing in yourself, or are you spending time making excuses, okay? You should think about these things because life is very, very important. We're only here for one time. We're only here for a certain amount of time, right? We can't get time back. It's very important to take control of how you spend your time, right? And is it moving you towards where you want to be? Or do you find yourself being in the same place? The things you eat, how do you take control of your body, right? Taking control of these things, right? Because use them as your own. I invite you to take control over these things that you have control over and use them to bring you to where you want to be. And lastly, we do have the ability to control our perspective, how we respond and react to the changes and challenges that we will ultimately see in life, right? And how? How do we do that? And that's by challenging our new ways of thinking, right? Because if you remember in one of my last videos, our thoughts create our feelings, and our feelings control our actions, right? How we feel in the moment dictates what type of action we take. It's by seeing things from a new light, seeing things from a new perspective, and working with someone like me as a coach can absolutely help you shift those perspectives. And when we take control over something like that, this is what's going to create massive change, massive positive change in your life. Because you can see the flat tire, right? You can get a flat tire and just boom. You can see it as, when you start to see challenges as opportunities, major shifts happen in your life, okay? I absolutely promise you that. And this is really what I talk about in my book, When Living Without, Discover What's Within. Okay, helping teenagers and young adults growing up without a father, because I was abandoned by my father in 1997, okay? My whole family was. And for the first 14 years of my life, major challenges, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, right? Because my perspective was, hey, I need a dad. You know, I need someone to show me the ropes. Who's going to be there to throw a football with me? Who's going to be there to talk about, I don't know, adult stuff, right? Who's going to be there to help me swing a wrench? Who's going to be there to help mentor me and guide me as I grow up, right? But when you shift that perspective and start seeing it as an opportunity and start seeing it as something that you can grow from and leverage from, that's when major things and major changes, positive changes start happening in your life, because you'll ultimately realize that you're starting to take control over your life rather than being a victim to things like time, or rather being a victim to things like the friends that you hang out with or the food that you eat, right? Rather than being a victim to these things. So here are some empowering questions I want you to think about in terms of taking control over your life and taking control of the things that you have. So which of these areas do you want to take control of immediately? Like today. Which of these areas do you want to take control of immediately? How will taking control over that area of your life positively impact you, right? When you choose to take control over it, how will it affect you? Okay? What will happen when you do take control over it? What's going to be the outcome, right? When you start taking control over how you spend your time, what will be the outcome? And what will happen if you don't? What will happen if you don't take control over that area of your life? Think about that stuff, okay? I hope you guys gained some value in this video. If you liked the video, click like below, click subscribe, just a little idea I had, okay? Remember to take control of these things. These are yours. These are yours to claim, right? And if you want to work with me, go to www.coachmilesv.com/programs, okay? You can learn all about coaching, learn about all about energy leadership. Listen, we are more in control of our lives than we may appear to be. Think about those questions. Which of these areas do you want to take control of immediately? How will taking control over these areas positively impact your life? What will happen when you do take control over these areas, right? And what will happen if you don't? What will happen if you don't? Subscribe to the channel, guys. Be great, shred life. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video.